We're back with our sleep series. So last week we talked about how sleep affects our minds, our bodies, our moods, our relationships. And for those of you who have ever gone through any sort of period, short or long, of having a hard time sleeping, you know that this can become really serious stuff, and it can affect all different parts of your life. So today I want to talk a little bit about how bedtime routines can really help your sleep and reduce stress. It seems simple enough, right? You put your pajamas on, you put your get into bed, put your head on the pillow, turn out the light, and you're off into Snoreland. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, and there are a lot of things that can go into um, how good our night's sleep is. And so one of the things that I think is really important to do, especially when if you're a great sleeper and you're not having any issues, of course, this isn't for you. But if this is a problem for you, it's important to start planning, thinking about what am I going to do? What am I going to change so that I can start getting a good night's sleep? So today we're going to look at three things. We're going to look at why that hour before you go to sleep is just as important as the moment your head hits the pillow. We're going to look at how different activities will affect engaging in different activities will affect the quality of your sleep, what happens. And number three, we're going to look at how circadian rhythms will affect your sleep. So before we do that, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nancy Brooker. I am the Living in Yes coach for women who feel overwhelmed by life's demands and just secretly don't feel good enough, but are really ready to transform that little voice inside their heads that keeps telling them this, so that they can start to embrace life. So these women hire me to help them connect to their inner worth, to trust themselves, so that they can start rocking their relationships, stressing less, and living in yes. So here we go. Number one, why is that hour before you go to sleep so important? Well, you want to be sleepy when you go to bed. You want to be sleepy when you go to bed. It's so simple. And whatever you do in that hour before you go to sleep is going to determine how sleepy you are. So if you're being really active and not doing things that are conducive to getting yourself into that sleep mode, this is going to be a problem. You want to be sleepy. So what are those things, the activities before you go to bed? Well, many people, and me included, I've been guilty of this myself. Use that hour before you go to sleep to watch TV, read a blog, check your email, whatever that is. And unfortunately, these all involve screen time. And we all know that screen time before bed will decrease the quality of your sleep and the quality of your next day. The blue light that's emitted from the screens decreases your melatonin production. Well, what's melatonin? That's your sleep hormone. That's what helps you sleep during the night. And then when your melatonin is decreased, it messes up your circadian rhythms, which is what we're going to talk about next. And also, I think what's important with the screen time is that there's a lot of distractions when we're watching on our phone or whatever that is, because there's email notifications and there's pop-up ads or whatever's coming on. And I don't know about you, but when I do that, I tend to get into this sort of space out zone where I'm just wasting time. I'm not even really paying attention to anything. I'm just scrolling. And but our mind is activated through what we're doing. So even though we're spaced out, so that's not good before you go to bed. Drinking caffeine. Caffeine is a stimulant. Watching emotionally intense content or having intense conversations, emotional conversations before you go to bed. That's not the time. You're going to be really worked up and stimulated, and not in a good way. So, there's lots of other activities too that you do that sort of trigger you to be more active when you should be trying to wind down. And we're going to talk a lot, more in the next couple of sessions about that. So prior to bed, what can you do? Of course, and we're going to talk more about this too. But an herbal tea, a hot bath, a meditation, read a book, Make sure you have comfortable clothing on, soft, cozy bed, just at the room at the right temperature, all of those sorts of things. So number three, how does circadian rhythms affect our sleep? Well, our bodies are actually designed with a natural internal sort of sleep cycle. We have this innate wind down window. Our cortisol levels actually start to decrease, I think, at about 4 p.m. And our melatonin later on in the night naturally starts to increase to help us get to sleep. Cortisol is our stress hormone, melatonin is the sleep hormone. And we really want to have that wind down window so our bodies can shift towards sleepness so that we can get that restful, repair and restore, rest and digest sort of cycle for our bodies during the night. And if we're overstimulated, we're going to miss out on that. So you can actually start to sync up your circadian rhythm by getting a good bedtime routine, having yourself go to bed at a certain time, get up at a certain time. So your body starts to get used to this natural, it's a natural rhythm that we disrupt with what we do. So we need to get back into that natural rhythm. And what you're going to find is that at that time, when it's time to go to bed, you're just going to be sleepy and you're going to go to bed. And you're going to wake up without an alarm because you've been doing this. That's your circadian rhythm. But so what's the bottom line? What am I trying to say? It's important to create a good bedtime routine. Now that's easy for me to say, and I think we all know that. We all know what we need to do. We need to go to bed a bit earlier. We need to shut off the TV, whatever. But it's hard to put into practice because we have all of these habits that we've created. And some of them are coping habits for other things that are going on in our lives, or we have stress that's going on in our lives and we don't know how to shut it out. And so that's where I come in, and I can help you to start to really identify what those things are that are keeping you up and or stopping you from getting that good sleep, and really starting to transform those so that you can do what you know that you need to do, but by removing those blocks. So develop your good bedtime routines, help calm, relax, de-stress before bed so that you will experience, just a beautiful, restful, restorative, joyful sleep. You know that feeling when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I feel great. You can have that. So I'm going to leave you with this quote. Dear mind, stop thinking so much at night. I need to sleep. Remember, you are awesome and amazing, and I hope to see you again next week. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe below. Come visit me over at Living in Yes. And if you could use some help with your sleep hygiene, please let's chat. There's a link down below. Take care. Take care.